Hey guys, Analog Man here to do another late night deck profile. And as you can see from the title of the video, we are taking a look at yellow purple security control. I've been seeing this deck kind of go around, and as people who have been following my channel, I really do love security control. It's one of the decks aside from Beelstar or Three Muskets back in BT6 that I really enjoyed playing. So I'm really glad that it's actually made a return in some capacity. It's not at full power like it should be with running, 6 reinforced like how they had it in Japan, but it's still a pretty intense like threat to deal with because the person, I first honestly saw it when the recent regionals that had just happened about a few days ago. The cool thing is that somebody got third place with it, and I saw their list and I was like, that list is really fire, it is awesome, and I wanted to try it out. And this is my kind of version of it. It's basically it's based on his version. Shout out to that person. I totally don't know the name. I only saw the topping deck profile picture itself. So let me know, if you're the one that topped, because that was a sweet deck profile. This is honestly based on that person's deck profile. It is not fully mine. The only differences are the ratios for certain cards, and also the fact that I do not have 4 Magna Angemon, so I had to kind of substitute that in a different way. But it's honestly, this deck is really crazy. Also, I'm missing some of the babies. I'm missing one Cupimon, but I substituted it with 2 BBmons. So yeah, aside from that, this version is based on the person who topped third in the recent like PPG Origins regional. Shout out to him, as I said before. Really cool deck, and I'm glad that you're bringing back security control because I'm trying to do that in my locals now with this deck. So let's actually get into the deck profile so you can see what I'm talking about. So first, for the eggs, we're running 3 Cupimons. Cupimon's really weird of a yellow egg. I have never used them up until this point. I never even used them in security control. I think I used them like once, but even then, it's like I've never really looked at him as much. But he's really cool. When attacking, if you have 5 or more security, you can trigger draw 1, which is really cool because most of the time, I noticed when I was testing this deck against my friends at locals, you always have like maybe 5 or 6 security unless you're playing like Imperial. So this thing will always be live, which is where the 2 BBmon come in. I actually have this weird combo with this card where when I swing with Salamon with this and it dies, I get to gain a memory, and I get to add a security which will trigger the yellow Kari, which will give me another memory. So I go up to from 3 to 5, and then by doing that, I play down an option card, and then I use the Mimis to essentially keep it on my turn still, which is really crazy because I've had matches where I've managed to basically put out all 5 Mimis, and it's really crazy. Like you can basically, or my bad, not 5, but all 4 Mimis, and you can just keep it to 0, and it's insane. But yeah, those are the eggs. I actually really like BBmon. BBmon's really cool in certain situations, and a lot of the combos that I've been trying to do, they work really well. So I like having him there. Cupimon's still, the one you want to get, but still not too bad. Let's get into the rookies. So first off, because I did not have the what is it? It's a Patamon from like the Tamers like guide thing or whatever. It's from a special set that you can only get, and it only comes with 1 copy. So to get like 4 copies, it does cost a bit of money. So instead of running the Patamons that heal for security +1, I run 4 Renamons from BT5. This card is like the one card I've been trying to find a use for since this card came out back in set 5, but I just never knew what I could do with it. And now I finally figured out a way to use it. So for anybody that does not know, this Renamon gives -1 security on play. It is a 4 cost though, so having a memory tamer is really crucial for this, but it's fine. So the cool thing is that you can just end your turn. Like let's say your opponent has like Imperial Dramon fighter mode out, right? And they just Jogressed and they made it, right? You're like, okay, cool. You just end your turn by putting them to 1 and playing this, and that fighter mode basically becomes useless to them. Sure, they can tap Renamon and kill it, but who cares? You can just replay it anyway. There's a new option card called Flame Hellscythe that lets you replay anything 6,000 or less that's yellow or purple. So you get to delete one of their Jogress targets, and then you play this, and you keep stalling their fighter mode consistently to the point where they just cannot hit you for game, which is really cool. Renamon has actually come in clutch a few times against Red and with Imperial, so I feel like this card is actually way better than Patamon because Patamon only gets you that healing, but this stalls your opponent to the point where you can actually draw into what you need and kill them next turn, which is really cool. But yeah, that's why I love Renamon. Renamon's actually really cool. I've been wanting to, as I said, wanting to figure out how to use her, and this is like the perfect deck to do it now. Then the last rookies we play are 4 Salamons because Salamon is still really busted to this day. It's really powerful in the fact that you can just recover security and trigger off certain Digi-Egg effects, which is really cool. But yeah, that's all the rookies we run. We run only 8 rookies. Let's get into. We don't run any level 4s. We run level 5s though. I'm running 2 Angelomons and 2 Magna Anges. The thing is that originally the build that I'm basing this on runs 4 of these, but I do not have 4, so I'm running the 2 Angelomons, and they're actually pretty decent because I've been able to basically make it so Red can never OTK me with this card. I just basically delete their blocker or whatever. Like let's say it's against Jesmon, I delete their Sistermon, and then I use this to -2 security on Jesmon. So no matter what, it's only checking me for me like 1 or 2, and usually they never delicate plan as much as they used to back in the day. So you're free and clear to just like remove them next turn anyway. So really nice. And then Magna Anja, of course, hard play. You can play Flame Hellscythe and then replay this and heal yourself again while deleting something. So really cool. We only play these 4 level 5s. For level 6s, we run 1 Junimon from the new starter deck because this card is really dumb. You evolve it on top of the Angelomon and you get an extra security. But the cool thing is that it has retaliation, so if your opponent tries to kill this, they will kill themselves in the process. And when Digivolving, you get to mill the top 3 cards of your deck and you get to add any Digimon back. It doesn't matter about level or color or anything. It just says 1 Digimon. So you can add back like your level 7 Omnimon or whatever card you need with this card, and it's really good. Then we're running 3 pre-release Avenged Kidmons because Avenged Kidmon's one of my favorite cards from BT7, and I had to like max rarity it. This card is really dumb in this deck because in this deck we run 25 option cards. So having 3 of these to recycle your deck is really crucial. And then if it gets ditched into the trash by the trashing effect, you can use Junomon to just grab it back anyway. So really powerful. And the fact is that when you play it, it recycles basically 12 cards back into your deck, and you get to pop something 8,000 DP or less as long as you recycled 7 or more cards, which you usually want to do. But yeah, that's all the level 6s we run. We only run 4. For level 7s, we only run 1, and we run one of the best, Agumon, Bond of Bravery. Really cool guy. The fact that you can just evolve this on top of Avenged Kidmon, you basically end your turn by putting your opponent to 1, then they pass it back, and you have like, your memory tamer, and then you evolve and you swing and you pop something and you hit for 2 security with this guy. So really powerful. He's good for late game when you have everything set up. So really cool. That's the level 7 of the deck. The rest are option cards. So let's get into the option cards and also 6 Tamers. So let's get into it. So first, we're running 4 Holy Waves because you want to heal. Really solid card, and it triggers the yellow Kari here. So you can basically make this a 5 cost every time. You run 4 Eden's Javelin because this card helps you draw, and it helps you remove cards off of the field, especially against Imperial. This card is really crucial to take care of their Jogress targets. Then 4 Blade of the True. I haven't used this card in a very long time, but it's a really solid card because no matter what, you will have 5 to 6 security, so you're guaranteed 2 to 3 draws every time you play this. And if you keep drawing into them, you can just keep drawing. So it's basically 4 Pot of Greeds from like Yu-Gi-Oh, and you just get to draw 2 cards all the time. It's really gross. Then we're running 3 Wyvern's Breath because Wyvern's Breath is still a really powerful card, and it helps you take care of really big threats, especially like Paladin mode and some other like big Imperial targets. Then we're running the 1 Reinforced Memory Boost because Reinforced Memory Boost is still really busted, and you want to try using this because then that way you give yourself extra memory to set up. Then for purple, we're running 2 Schwartzless Shards because this combined with the Tamers, I usually have 6 Tamers. So with this, you're guaranteed to pop their whole board. Then we run 1 Darkness Wave because Darkness Wave is really cool. It lets you mill the top 3 cards, and then if you have a yellow on the field, you get to just add any yellow or purple Digimon. It doesn't require anything about level, so you can just grab back anything, including your Junomon or possibly your Magna Angemons, which is really nice. Then for the dual colored cards, we're running 4 Chaos Degrades because this card is really busted. And in conjunction with the Tamers, you can reduce this down to a 4 cost, maybe a 3 cost. Really nice. This thing lets you basically get rid of targets that can't be deleted or bounced, or just any in general, especially Imperial that use armors. You can get rid of them and then trash them to the security by putting them into the security and then trashing the top card. Really solid card. The one thing I do have to mention is that the security only places them in the security. It doesn't trash the security. It's only if you play this directly yourself. So that's one thing I had to learn about this card. Then for Flame Hell Scythes, this card's really dumb because you basically get to do minus 6,000 and you can play anything that's 6,000 DP or less. So basically that's like basically half your deck of Digimon. Basically, you can replay any of these. You can't replay any of these, but you can play all these. So you basically get to heal and -2 security on them, or 1 security in the case of Renamon. And that's all the option cards. As I said, we're running 25 option cards. This deck is really busted because you just have so much option cards. That's why I honestly think this is the newest version of security control, because you have so many options to remove stuff on board now, and the fact is that you also have board wipes too, so you basically are guaranteed to just keep going. But as I mentioned before, you do need the Tamers to help set off a lot of things. So of course, for the Tamers, we run the 4 Mimis. This Mimi is really cool because if you manage to stack all 4, almost everything in this deck reduces itself down by cost. Like anything that's 8 becomes 4, anything that's 6 becomes like 2 cost. It's just crazy how it works. Then for the last 2 cards of the deck, we run the 2 Karis. This Kari helps you set your memory, and the fact is that whenever you add anything to your security by any means, you basically get to tap this and gain a memory. I've been able to basically keep it to my turn just by tapping all these together, so I gain back 6. So I basically play like an 8 cost card, and then I play this, and I go back to 0. So it's just insane how powerful this deck is. Honestly, in testing, as I mentioned, this deck performed very, very well. Against red, you have to just have everything set up in turn, and especially when they when they push out their level 5 or they set up their level 5 by passing to you, that's when you basically pop, let's say, reinforcing memory boost, and you basically play down the Angelwoman. You play down the Angelwoman to basically stall them out, and that's usually the best way because then red can only get in maybe like 1 to 2 checks, and by that point you should have 6 or 7 or even more security. So this card really helps. And then next turn you just go with Junomon and swing for to kill it. Against Imperial is kind of different. It's kind of a hit or miss. It's a 50-50. Basically, if they don't set up their things in time and you just have all the removal in hand, you basically can stop them from basically doing anything. If you let them set up into dragon mode, you have to kill it as fast as possible. That way they can't do anything. But as long as you keep board wiping them, you are fine, and you are basically guaranteed to deck them out because they have to digivolve so much to set up their board that they will deck themselves out at some point. So it's basically a free win at that point once you get it to there. Against Yellow Hybrid, it's kind of iffy. It's honestly just playing the game as fast as possible and just like milling them out. If they don't have Susanoo, they basically lose because they will deck out. This deck will never deck out half the time. They can potentially deck out, but it's hard for them to do it. So it's just a 50-50 along with that as well. Against Beelstar in my testing, this deck can basically get rid of their board a little bit faster, but if you allow them to swarm, they will have a tough time. Against Mastamon, I haven't been able, or actually did manage to play 1 match, and I did lose to Mastamon, but it was a 2-1 match, so this deck does have potential to beat it. You just have to be very careful on how you play through a lot of their things. Mastamon is still a huge threat. It also depends on the build, because the build I played against was my friend's build. Shout out to my friend in Wisconsin, Magnet Hero. My friend actually copied his build, and he played it and he made it kind of janky. So I'm confident that I can beat my friend's build compared to my friend Magnet Hero's build, who's his build is much better. Um, Aside from that, maybe blue hybrid might have a little bit of an issue against this because of the constant board wipes. There's just so much removal in this deck that they basically just can't get past it. I mean, sure, they can swing and make as many dudes and maybe like send the guy back to hand, but that's about it. They basically, if they return stuff to hand, I can just replay it anyway. So blue hybrid doesn't really have a good matchup either. Green Shivamon is probably the only thing that you have to worry about alongside maybe red hybrid if they can turn off your options. But aside from that, most decks, especially in the meta at the moment, is a free matchup. You basically have a really good matchup with them. You can take them on really easily as long as you play it carefully and tactically. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the deck profile, and I'll see you guys next time. See you guys.